Good evening. This is Pastor T with Connecting the Dots Unscripted. I wanted to talk a little bit about what has just happened today. Today is June 24th, the day that the Supreme Court took away a woman's right to make determinations about her own reproductive health. And I blame the Democratic Party for this. A few months ago on the Livonia Perryman show on 9:10 a.m. Superstation out of Detroit, I'm a political contributor and commentator on that show. We had Michael Steele, former Lieutenant Governor of Maryland, former chairman of the Republican National Committee, as a guest. And there was a point when I said the Democrats are coming to a knife fight with a butter knife. And he said, no, I think that's wrong. I think the Democrats are coming to a knife fight with their hands in their pockets. And as a result of the Democrats rolling over and over again and just tolerating being disrespected and Republicans just ignoring custom, tradition, the Constitution and doing what they want, we are where we are. Earlier in the week, the Supreme Court says, hey, you get a gun, you get a gun, you get a gun, everybody gets a gun. That it's legal for you to carry a gun wherever you go. That's such a bad idea. I'm not even going to talk about that today, other than that's just a horrifically horrendous idea. We're going to start seeing the effects of that. And then today they decided, long awaited, because it was forecast months ago when the draft of Justice Alito's, same difference, but Justice Alito's opinion was released, Roe versus Wade has been undone. So now women are no longer constitutionally guaranteed a right to an abortion if they choose. Not that it's being promoted, but just if they want to choose that as an option, it's no longer protected. And so now somewhere around half the states in the country have made it harder to impossible, and will be passing laws, some of the others, to make it harder to impossible for a woman to choose an abortion if she would like to. If there's something wrong with the baby, if it's going to endanger her health, if she's a victim of rape or incest, any of that, oh, too bad, so sad, have the baby and then give it up for an adoption. Well, you know what? My wife is an OBGYN, and one of the things I've learned from her and heard her say over and over again, that pregnancy is not a risk-free undertaking. And for you to tell a woman, let another being take over your body for 40 weeks and then give it up for adoption, only a man would say something that stupid. But that's what it's coming to. Or, as someone else said on the news today, they're not really making abortion illegal. They're making legal abortion hard to get. But there will still be illegal ones in sort of the back alley, in the basement, whatever, going back to that Stone Age. Fortunately, at least there's medication right now where and I think over 60% of abortions are now medically induced. So that's still, I guess, accessible. Although soon, I guess they're going to want to go into your mail to make sure you're not getting mail helping you accomplish that as a woman. I don't know why they're so obsessed with women's bodies and controlling them, but they would die. Men would die if, oh, well, you can't get Viagra or Cialis through the mail. Men would lose their minds. But anyway, that's not why we're here. Democrats have been asleep at the switch. They've allowed themselves to be punked over and over again by the Republicans. February 2016, Justice Scalia dies. President Obama nominates Merrick Garland. The Republicans say, we're not going to interview him. We're going to act like it never happened. We don't care what the Constitution says. We will continue to use it as toilet paper. We think the people should decide. So in that election, Hillary Clinton wins by 2.9 million votes because of that slavery holdover called the Electoral College. I'm not getting into that today, but the Electoral College has caused us more problems than you can imagine. 5 of the justices on the Supreme Court were appointed by people who lost elections, but the Supreme Court put them in office, George W. Bush and Donald Trump. But I digress. And then the exact opposite rationale when RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Justice Ginsburg, dies in September of 2020, the Republicans ram Amy Coney Barrett through in about 5 to 6 weeks. And by the end of October, she's confirmed. And they said, they didn't even say anything about, well, it's an election year, the people should decide. And even more showing how they don't care about process or anything other than what their particular ideological bent is, what their will and their plan is, irrespective of the will of a majority of the people once polled, and they don't care. As they said in 2016, and if the Democrat wins, which she did, but anyway, if the Democrat wins, we're still not going to take a nomination. Who the hell do they think they are? That they can just decide, well, if it doesn't line up with our will, our desires, our wishes, our plan, our platform, whatever, the hell with the country, the hell with the president, the hell with the Constitution, we're not doing it. And the Democrats just sit there and take it over and over again. They approach a knife fight with their hands in their pockets and get cut. But worse than that, we're getting cut because they're so trifling. And so before we lose our country altogether, you know, right now, Supreme Court ruling, you get a gun, you get a gun, you get a gun, everybody gets a gun. Bad idea. We'll see. We know that it is. We've already seen evidence of it before. Now the Supreme Court. Any schmo with a gun does not constitute a well-regulated militia. I was in the militia, the National Guard, the DC National Guard for 15 years, and then the Air Force Reserve for the rest of my career. That's a well-regulated militia. Sheriff's Department could be construed as a militia. Police Department could be construed as a militia. Some dudes running around out in the woods in fatigues, that ain't no militia. That's a club, that's an outing. This is not about guns. This is about the Democratic Party need to get off their sorry behinds and save this country while they can. This country is being stolen from us. One day at a time, one play at a time, one bill at a time, one filibuster at a time. We're not even going to entertain a conversation unless there's 60 votes to talk about it. To have a conversation on the floor of the Senate where you can explain why you support something or oppose it? Nonsense. And it's happening in real time, slow motion, right in front of us. Our country is being stolen from us. This democratic republic is on its way out unless we, the people, hold pressure on folks in office, whether they're school board, state legislature, county council, Congress, Senate, House of Representatives, Senate, wherever, governor's mansions, people taking over the courts and appointing people that, again, when they're being interviewed, they say, oh, no, that's settled law. We'll never change that. No, they don't say we'll never change. It's settled law. You know, there's custom and tradition that you don't really mess with settled law, so we won't do that. We won't legislate from the bench. We won't be judicial activists. And then they come in, and before the ink is dry on their confirmation papers, this is what they do. It's madness. It needs to stop. The Democratic Party needs to grow a pair and protect this country while we still have one. I'm Pastor T, over and out.